I'm Hemi, a staff member at Aeon. There's a car I'm really curious about lately. It's probably showing up a lot on social media too. And, well, I took some photos at the Tokyo Auto Salon, so I think I might try putting a photo around here. I'm not sure about the name or what it's actually called, but it's quite a comical car called Rocket Bunny. I'm kind of starting to really want it. Well, this time I'll be introducing wheels and tires to you. Last time, when introducing the vehicle, well, this blue car maybe, the wheels and tires might have been briefly visible. And actually, the wheels used for the demo car in catalogs and such are raise wheels, fitted with open country 1858/516 tires, and the demo car was photographed in this state. And in reality, well, the 1858/516 is the best in terms of style. And basically, well, in our opinion, for the Jimny JB64, I think it's the best matching tire size. However, I think there are many people who want to do something different from others. The Jimny is just so popular, and there are many various cars. Well, when you go to events or offline meetings, I think there are many customers who want to have at least a little bit of a difference. Then, well, wheels and tires are the first thing that catches the eye. So I think you'd want to fit a different size from others. So regarding our car this time, it's a bit, from our perspective, well, if you take a picture from directly the side, might be a bit oversized for a Jimny. But this time, for this car, we tried fitting two 257/516. Well, if you look at it from the side, it has a bit too much volume, so I think people might either love it or hate it. If I have the cameraman pull back a bit. Certainly, the wheels and tires themselves have a lot of volume, and I think it looks like an impressive car. So, there might be a question of whether you can actually fit these tires or not, and quite often, if you watch YouTube, there are a lot of videos that do tire verifications. So, people fit even bigger tires, or tires with a larger outer diameter. But if it's any bigger than this, well, in terms of reality, it's a bit feels like it's impossible, requiring significant customization, raising the ride height, or, for example, hammering the fenders, which makes it lose a lot of its realism, I think. So, well, for us, normally actually, we wanted to test this with two 2570/16, but we didn't have any on hand right now. So we are testing with two 2570/516. And if you ask whether they can actually fit or not, I think they can. However, inevitably, if you look at it from the front, they will stick out from the fenders. Well, depending on the angle, they might look like they stick out, or they don't. Maybe, if we apply the 1 centimeter rule here, it would be okay. Well, it's a bit borderline. And in reality, for this car, if you just roll it normally, you can turn the steering wheel completely, and so far, I haven't seen any part interfering with anything. However, when you go off-road or places like that, and the suspension starts moving, actually, a bit. Inside here, this part, the part of the pedestal that sits on top of the spring, there's quite a bit less clearance here, so there's a bit of a concern that the tire might interfere with it. However, I don't think it'll be an issue for normal driving. And as for the rear, it was the same with the previous JB23, but there's a bit of a protrusion from the frame, and well, in the case of the JB23, everyone used to just cut this protruding part off, but there's a slight protrusion here at the back as well. So, as expected, when you go off-road, the movement of the suspension might just cause it to hit here. So, I'll just try turning the steering wheel for the front for now. You could just film around here. Well, this car has a lift kit and short bumper fitted, so as for the bumper itself, you can probably see now that it moves without any issues at all. Then, next is the rear, as we often check this area as well. We'll check the rear side too. Well, there's no issue turning the steering wheel at this point. So, well, aside from the parts that stick out just a little bit, well, I think we've managed to verify that you can actually fit the 225/75/16 as well. And regarding the wheel size, well, in the case of the Jimny, for wheel width, well, there's pretty much only one choice, 5.5/16. And the inset is well around +20. So if you use those wheels, well, with this kind of protrusion, the 225/75/16 will fit. So looking at this practically and wondering if there's any way around it, what I'd like to test next is the fenders. I feel like if we install the often mentioned 9mm fenders, it might fit a bit better. I think if we attach them, it'll probably look a bit more, well, neatly housed overall. So next I'd like to test how these tires do with the fenders on. Lastly, well, I think there are advantages and disadvantages to this. So as for the advantages, it's the impact, and also when people see it, they'll say it looks cool and things like that, I suppose. And as for the disadvantages, well, it's about how to house the part of the tire that's sticking out now. And also, the tire and wheel get quite heavy. Because of that, I think the driving performance will be significantly compromised. Turning 4 tires this massive on a somewhat underpowered car means things like fuel economy or pulling away from a traffic light, for example, will become extremely slow, I think. Well, if you offset those things in exchange for the looks, well, I guess you could say it's fine, I think. Therefore, well, if you ask us what we recommend the most, then the standard 185/85/16 is probably most likely the best choice. And moving up from that, fitting a 225/70/16 with 9mm fenders would be the next best option. I think 225/75/16 is quite an adventurous size. So, as expected, if there are any customers who are a bit concerned about the size like that, we have this car out at the storefront. If you come over to Aeon Mall Futsu, actually, we're going to put those fenders on it anyway, so you can probably see the car in that state. So if you're interested, we'd be delighted if you came to visit us at Aeon Mall Futsu. We'd be delighted if you could subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Thank you for watching.